Okay, we just started with the recording. Përshëndetje të gjithëve. Unë jam Elsoni dhe ky është mësimi I radhës, mësimi falas. Yes, I've been organizing these lessons for over 11 years now, and I'm currently doing them once a month. Unfortunately, starting from May, Skype will no longer be available. So I'll have to find a solution, or if you have any solution, I just want a software or a website that can record the calls to publish them on YouTube. You can comment them somewhere or write them somewhere as suggestions. Yes, starting from May, you no longer will use the link that we have been using so far for the free lessons, okay? I don't know when the next free lesson will be. So far, they have always been on a Sunday, normally the first Sunday of the month at 5 p.m. Albania time. So that's when the next one will also be held. I just don't know which Monday exactly. But I can tell you the topic. The next topic will be verbs with a prefix. So those with per and none and re, etc. That will be the next topic. Mirë, jam Elsoni nga Shqipëria dhe banoj në Gjermani për momentin. Këto mësime janë falas. Këtu kemi Emma. Përshëndetje Emma. Nga je dhe pse dëshiron të mësosh shqip?
Përshëndetje. Emma. Jam nga Anglia.
Jam nga Anglia, aha.
Unë mësoj shqip sepse burri im është shqiptar.
Aha, burri është shqiptar, shumë mirë. Sa vite, sa kohë ke që mëson shqip? How long have you been learning Albanian?
Për një vit.
Për një vit, okay, shumë mirë. Aha. So ka një vit, it has been a year. Ka një vit që mësoj shqip.
Po, doing lessons, po.
Okay, shumë mirë. Mirë, then we have Carolina. Përshëndetje Carolina, nga je dhe pse dëshiron të mësosh shqip?
Përshëndetje, jam nga Polonia. Mësoj shqip sepse pëlqen shumë gjuha dhe dua të mësoj sa më mirë.
Sa më mirë. Po ti sa vite, sa kohë ke që mëson shqipe?
Ka 3 vite që mësoj gjuhën shqipe.
Ka 3 vite. Dhe ke shkuar ndonjëherë në Shqipëri?
Po, kam qenë 2 herë dhe do vi prap këtë vit.
Prap në kur të shkosh?
Në Korrik.
Në Korrik, okay, shumë mirë. Unë do të shkoj në maj. Mirë. Dhe Lansoni do të shkoj në prill, në fund të muajit prill. Këtu kemi edhe Danielin. Përshëndetje Daniel. Hello Daniel. Unmute yourself, please. I cannot hear you. Nicholas, hello. Do you hear me?
Oh.
Okay, would you like to introduce yourself? Where are you from and why do you learn Albanian?
Po, jam Niko, jam francez, jam 30 vjeç. Duhet të mësoj shqip sepse më pëlqen shumë. Edhe e dashurimi është shqiptare.
Është shqiptare, shumë mirë. Sa kohë, sa vite ke që mëson shqip?
Sa vite?
Sa vite, sa muaj, sa vite?
Mendoj 3 vite.
3 vite, okay, shumë mirë, 3 vite. Okay, thank you for joining the lesson. Daniel, do you hear me? Okay, so we'll introduce only the new students. Okay, we have Lenson, kemi Lenson nga Tajvani dhe Michael nga Kanadaja. Mirë. Today's lesson is about prepositions. I'll send you the link of the lesson in the chat box. You can either open that one or you can follow me with a screen share. 1 second here. So as I was saying earlier, starting from May, Skype will no longer be available, so we'll no longer have the lessons here. You no longer have to use the link we have been using for the last couple of years. Mir, we're talking about prepositions today. We'll talk about prepositions in different cases. Before watching this lesson, if you're watching from YouTube, please make sure you know what nominative is or accusative or these cases. I've done lessons about all of those, how to use them, how to build them and everything like that. So today we'll focus on the prepositions, those small words that are used in front of a noun or a pronoun. So we'll focus on those. Check out how the dative is missing here, because dative is the only case that does not require prepositions. I will explain it in a bit in the following slides. Should there be any questions, feel free to ask me, interrupt me. And yep, do you see my screen? Can you all see it? Or can you all open the link?
Oh.
Okay, perfect. Mirë, So slide number 2, let's start with prepositions in the nominative case. How to build nominative, I've also explained it in the previous lessons, but here is a table in nominative, 4 nouns there. One is a proper noun, name of a city, and in the 4 forms possible. So singular, plural, definite, indefinite, etc. So these are the possible changes a noun goes through if it's in the nominative case. There is a noun in the feminine there, and a proper noun among them. There are only 2 prepositions used in the nominative case, and these 2 are nga, which means from, and te, which means to, at, or in. So the verb nga, the preposition nga, very often used with the verb vi, to come from, or kthehem, to return from, or simply with the verb to be as well, with yam nga, to be from. For example, so with yam we cannot say puna, but vi nga puna, to come from work, or kthehem nga puna, to return from work, to come back from work. Kthehem, so nga puna, I'm using the definite form, this one here, because how often would you say I'm returning from a work or a job? I mean, grammatically in Albanian at least that's very correct to say, but the definite form is more used here. So vi nga puna. Otherwise, indefinite, it would be pun with a at the end. It would be here. Pun, definite, puna. Nga pushimet. Pushimet means vacation. It's a word in plural in Albanian. So in the table, it would be here. Pushime, that would be the indefinite, and here pushimet, the vacation. So again, nga is typically used with the definite form of the noun. Nga puna, nga pushimet, to return from vacation, kthem nga pushimet. Vi nga një qytet I vogël, to come from a small city. So you can say, I come from a small city in Albania. Un vi nga një qytet I vogël në Shqipëri. So I'm using there the indefinite form. We are here. Okay, vi nga Durrësi, I come from Durrës. If it's a proper noun, always the definite form. That's why nga Durrësi, the definite form here, and no plural as well. You'd never say from a Durrës the indefinite form. Okay, so with nga, if it's a proper noun, a city, a country, a place, only the definite form. Mir, any questions so far? With nga, nominative, typically the definite form, unless you are saying to come from a something, a big country, a beautiful place, a... Okay? Yeah. Let's go to the second preposition. We have te, sometimes with a k at the end. What's the difference? It depends what noun comes after. Te follows nouns that start with a consonant, and tek with a k at the end is used with nouns that start with a vowel. That's the only difference. But other than that, yeah. So typically used with the verb shkoj, to go to, or also to be. I am at this place. Right? Check out the translation, to, at, or in. Shkoj te puna, to go to work. Te puna, right? To work, definite form. Shkoj te prindrit, to go to your parents' place. Iki and vete, these are interchangeable. They all mean to go. Shkoj te prindrit. Shkoj te liçeni, to go to the lake. So te is used for places, but very, very specific ones. You cannot just use them for any place. So you cannot say po shkoj te Durrësi. Right? Not used with proper nouns, and it's mostly used with people. Te prinderit, po shkoj te mjeku, to the doctor. Po shkoj te një dentist tjetër, I'm going to another dentist. Or with very specific places. So it's used with puna, po shkoj te puna, going to work, te liçeni, at the lake, or te posta, to the post office. That's pretty much it. Okay? So used mostly with a vowel. For example, my name starts with a vowel, Elsoni, so you'd say tek. Yeah. So for example, jam tek Elsoni. I am at Elson's place. Or po shkoj tek Elsoni. I am going to Elson's place. So I know in English this means different things. In Albanian it depends on what verb you're using. So if you say I am, then it is at his place. Or I'm going, then it is to his place. Okay, I'll stop it a bit. Mirë, keni pyetje? Nicolas, Lenson, Emma?
Jo.
Ünal, hoş geldin. Would you like to introduce yourself? Okay, let's continue with the screen share. Okay, yes,
Yeah.
I can hear you. Where are you from?
Përshëndetje.
Where are you from and why didn't you learn Albanian?
Unë jam nga Turqia.
Po?
Unë mësoj Shqip pak, por unë po flas pak Shqip.
Okay, ti flet pak Shqip dhe po mëson. Okay, shumë mirë. Hoş geldin. Mirë se erdhe.
Faleminderit.
Ska problem. So we are talking about prepositions in the nominative case, and there are only two of them, nga and te. Sometimes with a k at the end, tek, the meaning is the same. Nga, by the way, nga also with people's names. So I'm coming from this person's place, for example, nga Galsoni, or nga Mieko from the doctor's place, doctor, or nga dentisti, any of those. I used only dentisti, and I use only places there, but it can also be a person. Okay. Any questions so far? Anything you'd like to add? Okay. This nga has many meanings. That's why I made a special slide just for it. Other meanings of nga. Nga can colloquially be also used with shkoj, to go. So to go from, you wouldn't say that in English as far as I know. To go from, I go from, no. But in Albanian, shkoj nga liçeni, literally to go from the lake, the meaning is to go to the lake. So it's very confusing now. Nga has no longer the meaning of from here, but actually it's a synonym to te, to. So how do we know it? Because of the verb we are using, shkoj. So shkoj nga liçeni, very, very colloquially, very colloquial. Po shkoj nga liçeni, I'm just going by the lake. Po shkoj nga mali, I'm just going by the mountain. Yeah, towards the mountain or by the mountain. Po shkoj nga parku, I'm going by the park or to the park. Okay, it's no longer from. Nga is used with days of the week. Nga hëna, from Monday. So if you just say nga hëna, full stop at the end, right? Nga hëna is no longer from either. Nga hëna means at around Monday. So it might be Sunday, it might be Tuesday. For example, when are we meeting up? Right? Let me write an example here. Person A says, or when are you free? Kur je I lir? And person B says, nga hëna, around Monday, right? Or yes, nga janari, so around January, around that time, okay? So it's no longer from. Or, check out the other meaning now, or nga hëna deri të premten. So there it is from Monday to Friday. Okay, I work from Monday to Friday. Unë punoj nga hëna deri të premten. So the first one is by Monday, the second one is from Monday to Friday. Okay, nga is used with months, similar meaning like earlier, nga shtatori, that means around September time, around September, just like we said earlier, nga janari. Nga is used with feelings, and it means it expresses due to in English. For example, due to fear, due to happiness, due to sadness, etc. Nga frika, so it's no longer from. Nga frika, nga lumturia, nga trishtimi, from happy, because, or due to happiness, due to sadness, due to fear, something. It's used with directions, nga majta, nga djathta. So nga majta, it means left side, nga djathta, right side. For example, ktheu nga majta, turn left, literally turn from left. It just means turn left, ktheu nga majta. Ktheu nga djathta, near, nga veriu, right? North, nga jugu, south. Po shkoj nga jugu. So now we are similar to the first example. I'm going to the south of Albania, for example. Po shkoj nga jugu. Okay? Oh, sorry, nga is used with direct, we said that one. Nga is used indicating the connection between family members. For example, this question in Albanian, çfar e ke? That question literally means, what do you have him or her? The meaning is, what is he or she to you? So what's your family connection? Your brother, sister, father, whatever. Çfar e ke? Yeah? And an answer would be, e kam kushërir nga babai. So she's my cousin from my father's side. So nga babai means from my father's side. Okay. So these are different meanings of nga. Yes.
A question: if you say vien ga yugu, for example, era vien ga yugu, does it then have the meaning from south?
Yes. Yes. Then it's from. So he comes from the south. Ai vien ga yugu. Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for joining, Torben. Okay. Mir. So yes, nga yugu. Mir. Ai vien ga yugu. He comes from the south. Ai shkon ga yugu. He's going by. Yeah. He's going to the south. Shkon ga yugu. So it depends on the verb actually. Mir. Pyetje, other questions?
Jo.
Yeah. Mir. Some other fixed expressions or common expressions with nga are falenderoi dike. Instead of dike, you can put a person's name. Falenderoi dike nga zemra, to thank someone wholeheartedly. So to thank someone from your heart. Falenderoi nga zemra. Yeah? So if you are very thankful to someone, you can say falenderoi shum te falenderoi nga zemra. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, nga zemra. Medolingamendia. So it came out, dal means to come out. It came out from my mind. The meaning is harova. So I forgot. In English, I don't know, it slipped my mind, or I don't know, something similar. I forgot. Medolingamendia. Here. Zjohem gajumi, to wake up from sleep. Zjohem gajumi, to wake up. To wake up from sleep, so zjohem gajumi. Shpetoi nga reziku. Shpetoi means to rescue. To rescue someone from danger. Shpetoi nga reziku. Okay, so these are all nominative. Also earlier, not only nominative, but also all of them are nouns. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Keni Pyetje? Okay, yeah, let's go back. So I was saying earlier that starting from May, 1st of May, Skype will no longer be available. So, but I will keep organizing these free lessons. I do not just know when exactly the next one will be, but I'll notify you somewhere by email, or on YouTube. I will notify you there. Okay, and the next topic will be about verbs with prefixes. Okay, these were the prepositions in nominative. There are only two of them, nga and teortek. Let's go to prepositions with accusative. It's a bit more complicated because there are many more. I think there are 8. Yeah, 8 in total. So, and here is a review for those who forgot how accusative is being built. So it's with an N at the end, typically. And nominative and accusative plural is the same, we said. The nouns, also the singular, just the definite changes with an N at the end. Okay, so that's how the nouns are built. What prepositions require accusative? I have separated it in 3 slides because there are many of them, right? And there are some specific rules for each one of them. That's why in 3 slides I've put the accusative. These 3 prepositions, first, per, me, and pa. Per, for or about. Me, with or by, and without pa. They all follow accusative. Okay. If it's a proper noun, such as duros or shipri, or a name of a person, then always definite form. So for, always with a definite. Per shiprin, with an N at the end, accusative. Per elsonin, Nicolasin, Lansonin, with an N at the end. Okay, if it's a proper noun. If it's any other noun in general, then it's up to you what you want to say. So for example, per pushime, that means, so you can either say me pushime, yeah, I wrote it here as well. You can either say me pushime or per pushime, the meaning is the same for or in vacation, or im Urlaub auf Deutsch, to be on vacation, per pushime. Per shokun, for the friend, or about the friend, it depends on the context, yeah? So poflasim per shokun, then it means we are talking about the friend. Or it can be we're talking about a friend, poflasim per mir shok, so it's up to you there. So in general, for these three prepositions, it's up to you, definite or indefinite. Just be careful if it's a proper noun, that only the definite form. Për një problem, about a problem. Mirë, ata po flasin për një problem. Or për problemin, for the problem. Or about the problem. Okay, and that's the same in German, it also follows accusative. Mirë, për mësimin, about the lesson. For example, I have a question about the lesson. Or për gramatikën. Mirë, kam një pyetje për gramatikën. About grammar. Okay. Me, in German, that is with dative. In Albanian, that's with accusative. So again, up to you, definite or indefinite. Me has also the meaning not only with, but also by. So with means of transportation. Me makin, by car. Right? So, and it is with the indefinite form. Me makin, me tren, by train. Me avion, me makin, me biciclette, me autobus, any of those. Okay? Indefinite form. Me shochen, with the friend. You can also say with a friend. Me një shoqe. Oh, here's the next one. Me një shoqe. Here. Un po shkoj në pushime me një shoqe. Right? I'm going on vacation with a friend. Me studentët. Un po flas me studentët. I'm talking with the students. And me pushime. So here, if it's a means of transportation, you would use the indefinite form. Like in English, by car and not by the car. Right? In German, you would say mit dem Auto, or yeah, mit dem Bus, definite form. In Albanian, indefinite. Okay? And pa, again, up to you, definite or indefinite. Just be careful if it's a proper noun, always definite. Here, pa familjen, without my family. For example, I don't want to go on holidays, on vacation without my family. Nuk dua të shkoj me pushime pa familjen, without my family. Optional time, you don't need it. We know it's your family. Pa familjen. Pa prindrit, without my parents. Pa fjal, speechless. Wordless, speechless. Pa fjal. So in Albanian we say without words. Here's a fixed expression. Beta pa fjal. I was speechless. I remained speechless, literally translated. Papun, jobless. Beta papun, or jam papun. I am jobless. Jam papun. I am without a job. Okay? Here, I'll stop the screen share. Keni pyetje? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, let me see. Yes, and Michael wrote, if you're impatient, you can book a private lesson with me. I offer private lessons on italki. Okay, faliminderit. Yeah, let's go to the next three. So these three prepositions follow accusative. The next three ones, the next four ones. Here we have n, in, at, to, on, many meanings, many translations. Be, also on, none, under, n, per, through. They also follow accusative case. Be careful, these four must be used with the indefinite form of the noun. So indefinite, we are here. That one there, I will underline it, that one, and this one here. Indefinite. And what verbs? With jam, to be, shkoj, to go, vendos, to put on somewhere, v, also to put, to place. So në durës, jam në durës, I am in durës, or with banoj në durës, punoj, I work, punoj në durës. So indefinite form. Jam në shtëpi, I am at home, jam në punë, shkoj në punë, to go to work, right? Several translation. Në tryez, on the table, në telefon, so marr në telefon, to call someone on the phone, marr në telefon. I made a note under there, we'll go to it in a bit. So just keep in mind, these must be used with the indefinite form of the noun, this here. Okay? With mbi, yes, some examples. Mbi tryez, on the table. Mbi akull, on ice, right? To do the sport on ice, mbi akull. Or I fell on the ice, rash, mbi akull. So I fell and slipped on the ice. Mbi re, on the clouds, right? Jemi mbi re, we are above clouds, on the clouds, one of those. Mbi bar, for example, mos shkelni mbi bar. Do not step on the grass. There, it's a very common sign. So don't step on the grass, on the meadow or somewhere. None under, non carrighe, under the chair. Non cock, under the head. For example, yastık, yes, yastık, non cock, to put a pillow under your head. Non yastık, under the pillow. Non battaniye, under the blanket. Në për jam or shkoj, udhtoj, dal. With dal is the most used one. Dal në për dyqane. Very colloquially, it means to go to different stores and buy stuff. To go shopping, basically. Yeah. Ku je? Where are you? Kam dal në për dyqane, right? I am among, through stores. With udhtoj is also very used. Udhtoj në për Shqipëri. To travel throughout Albania. To go everywhere. To travel throughout Albania. Në për. Okay? It's not through as in through the door. It's not that through. It's more like throughout. I guess more like throughout. Okay. Emma, questions? Carolina, Lenson, Michael? Yeah. So, Emma, I cannot hear. It's very, very low. Did you ask something?
No, I said no.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, Mia. So these four prepositions, we are still in accusative, are followed with the indefinite form. Now, can you use the definite? You can only under one condition. You have to use afterwards, you have to use either an adjective, a number, or another noun, or anything else. But you have to use one of those. That's when you can use the definite. For example, un pori në dhomë, I'm staying in my room, right? Në dhomë, indefinite. We go back to the previous rule here. However, if it's a specific room, such as room 11 or a big room, small room, nice room, etc., that's when you can use the definite form. So në dhomën 11. So it has to be under the condition to an adjective. Në dhomën e madhe in the big room, në dhomën e re in the new room, right? Or a genitive, so with another noun, në dhomën e ndenjes in the living room, e ndenjes. So you can use a definite only if it fulfills this criteria. Otherwise, you cannot use a definite form. Okay, questions? Let's go to the 8th preposition in accusative. It's this one which is rarely used or very, very specific. Më. Më means on, but only with these two examples. On foot, më këmbë, and on in front of a date, më 10 Mars, on the 10th of March. That's all. Not on like on the table, not like that. So on foot or on in front of a date. And it only follows the indefinite form. Okay? So jam këmbë, I'm on foot. So po shkojmë këmbë, I'm going by foot. Kthejmë këmbë, here. Takohemi më 10 Mars, I'll meet you on the 10th of March. Okay, so we had earlier prepositions with nominative. There were only 2, nga and tek, and prepositions in accusative, there are 8 of them. Per, me, pa. So these 3 up to you, definite or indefinite. Just be careful if it's a proper noun, only definite. The rest of 4 of them, they only follow the indefinite form. You can use a definite only if you use another word, number, or genitive case afterwards. Or a pronoun as well. For example, në dhomën time, in my room. And this one, më, very specific one with feet and with a date. Okay, if you're watching from YouTube, I would appreciate it if you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. The next lesson, I don't know when exactly it will be, but I'll let you know. The topic, I already told you, it's about the verbs with prefixes. Prepositions in dative, there are none in Albanian. Dative is only used with verbs. Okay, it's never used with prepositions, so there are no prepositions here. Let's go to prepositions in genitive. There are many, and they are not actually called prepositions in Albanian. They are called prepositional phrases. For example, me an të, with the means of, so via or through in Albanian. And check out, I've put some plus there. Genitive, remember, or if you recall, it uses articles in front of the noun. Those articles, all 4 of them, they are translated as of in English, right? The house of my friend, or the s with apostrophe after a noun, right? My friend's house. So that's when that's the translation for these articles. And these expressions, they follow a very fixed article, so you cannot change them. It's always the. It's always a, always a. So you just learn this by heart. Mirë, me anë të, via through, me anë të internetit, mirë, for example, nuk e di, po bëj temën e diplomës me anë të internetit, po planifikoj udhëtimin tim, I'm planning my trip me anë të internetit, mirë, me anë të hartës, via through the map. Okay, you can also use the indefinite through a map, me anë të një harte, then you are indefinite. Here. Okay, so these nouns, they're up to you. They can be definite or indefinite. Through the map, through a map, through the internet. It's strange to say through a internet, even though grammatically it's correct. Me ardhjen e dimrit, with the arrival of winter. Here, me ardhjen e miqve, with the arrival of our friends. So we are here, or here. Plural is the same in dative. In genitive, plural, definite, indefinite. Here, me ardhjen e studentëve, with the arrival of the students. Nga ana e. Anyone knows what that means? Nga ana e babit, e mbabait, nga ana e mamit. Carolina, was it Carolina? E di çfarë do të thotë?
1 second, because I have some problem with phone. I don't see nothing.
Okay, e di çfarë do thotë nga ana e mamit, nga ana e babit?
Yes, from side of the father. Like,
Shumë mirë, from my father's side, from my mother's side. Shumë
From
mirë.
my
Për shembull,
father's
ajo është kushërira ime nga ana e babit. Yeah, she's my cousin from my father's side, etc. Yeah. Për arsye të, because of. So for the reason of, because of. Për arsye të is the same like the next one actually. Për shkak të, due to, the same. At least in Albanian they're interchangeable. Për arsye të kohës së keqe. Due to or because of the bad weather. Për arsye të mungesave. Mungesave are the, what's mungesa? When someone is absent at school, they write down the absence list or something. So për arsye të mungesave. Let's say due to him missing all the lessons, he did not pass the exam. Për arsye të mungesave, ai nuk e kaloi provimin. He didn't pass the exam because of how many times he was absent. Për shkak të, due to as well. Për shkak të kohës keqe, për shkak të trafikut, due to the traffic. Për shkak të përmbytjeve, due to, what's that in English? Floods. Due to floods. Për shkak të tërmetit, due to the earthquake. Në vend të, instead, në vend të trenit, instead of the train, I'm taking something else, for example. Në vend të trenit, mora autobusin. Në vend të mishit, instead of meat, I'll use, I don't know, tofu or something. Në vend të mishit. Në vend të qumshtit, instead of milk. Në vend të djathit, instead of cheese. Literally, in the place of. Me përjashtim të, besides. Me përjashtim të Tiranës, me përjashtim të Motrës, besides my sister, something, something. Yeah? For example, me përjashtim të Motrës, të gjithë flasin anglisht. Everyone else speaks English but my sister. So my sister doesn't. Në drejtim të, towards, right? Në drejtim të malit, towards the mountain. Në drejtim të qytetit, towards the city. Në drejtim të jugut, towards south. Here, në drejtim të. Torben, can you make a sentence using për shkak të kohës keqe due to bad weather?
Për shkak të kohës së keqe, sot erdha me autobus.
Shumë mirë. Për shkak të kohës së keqe, sot erdha me autobus. Yeah. So these are there are many other ones, but these are the most important ones. Prepositions in genitive. But there are no other prepositions in nominative, only those 2, and no other prepositions in accusative, only those 8. However, in genitive, there are many other ones. I haven't listed here, but these are the most important ones. Mia, prepositions in ablative, there are many, right? They are large in number. Again, I haven't listed all of them. They are in 2 slides, but not all of them. And they mostly indicate location. If you don't recall the ablative case, that's how the nouns change. Yes, after, near, pran, also near, next to, larg, jat, during, per jat, along. So after the piece, next to my house, right? Definite is mostly used. You can also say next to a house, but how often would you use that? After punas, next to my job, my work. Pran parkot, by the park, next to the park. Larg prinderve, right? For example, I live far from my parents on Banoi larg prinderve. Jat during the lesson, jat masimit studentet kishin shum pyetje. During the lesson, the student had a lot of questions. During the night, jatnatas. During the night, it rained a lot. Jatnatas ra shum shi. Along, entlang, jat lumit. Per jat lumit, along the river, jat rugas, bregut. Per bal, in front of, per bal statuias, in front of the statue. Per vec, except, außer, auf Deutsch. Per vec studente te huai. Okay, except the foreign student. Per para or simply para, both are the same, in front of. Oh, it's the same like per bal, it's the same. Per bal, per para školas, yes. Prapa, behind. Here. And here's another list. Parapa or pas is the same. Paspune, after work. After work. Here. Paspunas, after work, again, the same. Pasmasimit, after the lesson. After the lesson, I will, something, something, pasmasimit. Yasht, Brenda, inside, outside, they follow the same one. Yasht temas, outside the topic. For example, I have a question outside this topic. Kam një pyetje jashtë temës. Jashtë shtetit, it means abroad. Mirë, unë punoj jashtë shtetit. I work abroad, outside of the country, that means abroad. Okay, you can say jashtë temës, jashtë mësimit. I have a lesson outside, I have a question outside the lesson, that means also outside the topic, jashtë mësimit. Brenda, qytetit, Brenda frigoriferit, inside the fridge. Maitas, djathtas, left, right, also with ablative. So again, with these nouns, I would say almost always with the definite form. But again, it's up to you. Krahas, beside, krahas mësimit. Yeah? For example, besides learning Albanian, he also does sport. Okay, krahas mësimit, të gjuhës shqipe, ai merret edhe me sport. Kunder, opposite, kunder rrjedhës së lumit, opposite the river stream, right? There are some fish, there's a type of fish that swims, right? Opposite. So, kunder rrjedhës së lumit. Kunder qeveris, again, against the government. Kunder ligjit, against the law. Prej, just like nga, from, prej is also from, just now it needs ablative. Prej Tirane, right? Prej Shkodre. This is very interesting now. You can use both of them. You can either say prej Tirane or prej Tiranës. Both are very correct. So definite or indefinite, up to you. Ref mesimit, ref mesimit. I have a question about the lesson, just like per we learned earlier. Per. Ref is also about, or yeah, about. For example, kam një pyetje ref mesimit, ref grammatikës. About, but it also means around, ref liçenit, around the lake. Okay. Sipas, according to, sipas mësuesit, sipas parashikimit të motit, according to the weather forecast. Post, under, sipër, up or above. So they all follow ablative. Let me pause for a second. Are you alive? Any questions? Lenson, Emma, Michael, Torben?
Yeah, everything okay, yeah.
Jo, Nicolas?
Çdo gjë mirë.
Çdo gjë mirë, mirë. Ynal? Sorun var mı? Yok? Okay. Let's.
Yok hocam.
Yok, tamam, tamam. Now, before we start with an exercise, I'll ask you some questions. And make sure your microphones are on so you don't delay with the answer. Let's see. Michael, can you make a sentence with kthehem nga pushimet? To come back from vacation.
Kthehem nga pushimet autobus.
Me autobus. Okay, so kthehem or pokthehem, I'm coming back from a vacation by bus. Pokthehem nga pushimet me autobus, Shumir. Emma, how do you say I have lots? I am very busy at work. So use te. I'm very busy at work. I cannot hear you, Emma.
Sorry. Would I say kam shumpun? No.
You can say kam shumpun. That's very correct. Yes, you can say kam shumpun. Let's use te.
Yam izen
Uh-huh.
tepuna. Puna.
Shumir. Yam shumezan tepuna. I'm very busy at work. It's very colloquial. Here. So in spoken Albanian, you would say that a lot. You can say kampun, of course, kam shumpun, yam shumezan mepun, or yam ezan tepuna. Here. Kam shumpun tepuna sounds a bit weird since you're saying pun pun twice.
Yeah.
Here. Okay. So dal would be another verb. Let's see, Carolina, how do you say I'm going out to the lake? So let's use te again.
Për sot do dal të liçeni.
Shumir, do dal të liçeni. Po. You can also use nga. Remember one of the uses of nga, right?
Sot do dal nga liçeni.
Shumir, do dal nga liçeni. Or shkoj nga liçeni, dal nga liçeni. Correct. Po. Mirë, so those were nominative. Let's check out with accusative. Let's see. Nicholas, how do you say? I'm talking about grammar.
Po flas me gramatikën.
Per, about.
Po flas për gramatikën.
Shumë mirë. Po flas për gramatikën, ha? Po flas për mësimin, për gramatikën. Shumë mirë. Okay, how do you say, Nicholas again, how do you say she's going on vacation with the students?
She's going on vacation. Po shkojnë on vacation, po shkon pushime.
Shkon me pushime with the students?
Me një student.
The students, studentët.
I thought you said a student.
With a student, okay. Me një student.
Me një student.
Me një student, okay. Or me studentët, with the students. Here. Po shkon me pushime me studentët, shumë mirë. Okay, let's see another one. Who is here? Lenson, how do you say let's see an example. The meat is inside the new fridge. So in or inside is the same in Albanian. The meat is inside the fridge or in the fridge, inside the fridge.
Mishi është në?
Fridge, we say frigorifer.
Frigorifer.
This means simply meat is in the fridge. Let's say it's in the new fridge or the big fridge or the small fridge, an adjective after. How do you change it then?
Mishi është në frigoriferin.
Frigoriferin, and then?
Të ri. No.
So article is always eri. So definite accusative needs an e. Mirë, mishi është në frigoriferin eri. So definite now because it's a specific type of fridge. Okay? Mirë. Okay, let's see another one. So this is very specific, not important. Dative, there are none here. Let me see. Skype is not showing me all of you now. I don't know now. Now let me see who is there again. Emma, Carolina, Lenson, Michael, Unal. Let's see. Unal, how do you say? How do you say? Okay, so instead of the meet, or instead of the train, I'm going to work by car.
Po shkoj në vend të trenit
By car? Me makinë.
me makinë.
Me makinë. So let's start the sentence with në vend të trenit. Në punë me makinë. Here, like this. Instead of the train, I'm heading to work by car. Në vend të trenit. Or në vend të trenit, another option would be po marr autobusin. I'm taking the bus. Në vend të trenit, po marr autobusin. Here. Okay. Let me see. Emma, how do you say she is, or he is my cousin from my mother's side? He is my cousin from my mother's side.
Okay. Është kushërin nga ana babait.
Or mother's side.
Mother's side, mamit.
E mamit, shumë mirë. Është kushërim nga ana mamit. Or e kam, which we use more, e kam kushëri nga ana mamit. Literally, I have him cousin from my mother's side. E kam kushëri nga ana e mamit. Mirë?
Mirë.
Okay. Who is? Let me see. Carolina, how do you say with the arrival of spring? Arrived also dalendusha, the swallows, the birds. With the arrival of spring, or with the arrival of spring, the weather warmed up, or yeah, it became warm.
Me ardhjen e pranverës, si ishte pastaj se harova. Me ardhjen e pranverës.
The weather warmed up, or the swallows came, or
ka u bë keqe.
Warmed up. Koha u ngroh.
Ngroh.
Ngroh. It's a reflexive verb, ngrohem. Mirë, me ardhjen e pranverës, koha u ngroh. Me ardhjen e pranverës, erdhën dalendyshet. Mirë. Okay, so in ablative. I'm sure I'm forgetting. Oh, Torben, let me see. Torben, how do you say, what are you doing during the weekend?
Çka do të bësh gjatë fundjavës?
Shumë mirë. Çfarë do të bësh gjatë fundjavës? Or a ke plane gjatë fundjavës? Mirë. Or me çfarë do të merresh gjatë fundjavës? What are you doing during the weekend? Mirë. What else? Michael, how do you say the store is in front of the statue or opposite the statue?
Duqanit.
The store, duqani, nominative.
Duqani është prej balë statues.
Statujës, shumë mirë. Right. Dyqani është përballë statujës. Përballë ndërtesës. Oh. What else here? Okay. Emma, how do you say I live far from I live far, or I work far from the city center? From the city. I work far from the city.
Un punoj larg qytetit
Larg
qendër.
Larg qytetit, or then far from the city center, larg qendrës së qytetit. So genitive afterwards, genitive. Punoj larg qendrës, I work far from the center. Far from the city center, larg qendrës së qytetit. Here. And some other ones here. Anyone hasn't spoken? Okay, Lanson, how do you say? Let me see. He's talking about Albania.
Poflet, rreth, Shqipëria? No, Shqipëris.
Shqipëris. So this ending here with po flet rreth Shqipëris with a statement. Okay, po flet rreth Shqipëris. Okay. Torben, how do you say according to the weather forecast tomorrow it will rain?
Sipas parashikimit të motit, nesër do të bie shi.
Nesër do të bjerë.
Bjerë shi.
There are, I think, 5 irregular verbs in subjunctive. Nesër do të bjerë. Po, sipas parashikimit të motit. Okay, mirë. So those were all the prepositions, or especially in genitive and ablative, there are not all of them listed there, but these were the prepositions in different cases. Dative is the only one that has no prepositions. So dative is only used with verbs. Mir, I was saying earlier that starting from May, Skype will no longer be available. So I will let you know. I'll make some research, or I'll do some research. I'll let you know on YouTube or Instagram about the next lesson or how we'll do it with the following ones, because I want to continue with these free lessons. The next topic will be about verbs with prefix. Mir, I would appreciate it if you can subscribe my YouTube channel in order not to miss the following lessons as well. Let's do this exercise. Okay, so we need one of the prepositions, one of those that we mentioned already. The first and the second, Michael. So remember the numbers because otherwise I'll not remember. Michael, numri 3 dhe 4, 3 and 4, Lenson. 5 dhe 6 Torben, 7 dhe 8 Emma, 9 dhe 10 what is it? Unal. Yeah. Carolina është shumë e thjeshtë për ty, prandaj nuk të dash. Por nëse të tjerët nuk i din, atëherë mund të përgjigjesh ti. Në rregull?
Po, do shikojmë po.
Mirë, do të shikojmë. If any of you is ready, you can let me know.
Duket jam gati.
Okay, e para?
Djali I vogël po luan me motrën e tij.
Mirë, me motrën e tij, so that's a preposition with accusative. So the translation?
I guess a small boy is
or the
playing.
little or the small.
The little boy is playing with his sister.
Correct. Po tjetër?
Po dalim një herë nga liçeni.
Po dalim një herë nga liçeni. Very colloquial. So you wouldn't find these sentences in books in spoken Albanian. How do you translate it? Po dalim një herë nga liçeni.
So we are going for the first time in the lake.
So një herë it means any verb plus një herë. Një herë is a synonym to pak here. So any verb or a verb plus pak, it means to do an action for a short time and quickly.
Okay.
Okay. So po dalim një nga liçeni. Let's go by the lake for a moment, for a bit, right? Let's go by the lake basically. Here, po dalim pak. Okay, it's like I think mal in German, right? Geh kurz, something like that. Un poco in Spanish,
yes,
or Italian, right? To do something for a short time. So një herë is a synonym to pack there. Yeah? Po shkoj pak, I'm going there quickly. Po dal pak, I'm just going for a walk. Po dal pak. Yeah? Okay, po dalim pak nga liçeni, we are just going by the lake for a bit. Okay, so nga with nominative and me accusative. Other questions? Other ones? Who are ready? Jeni gati?
Like the third one, ata zgjohen herët në mëngjes dhe më pas shkojnë në punë.
Shumë mirë. So both na. Do you remember what preposition na is? Which case?
Accusative? No.
Accusative. Shumë mirë. So it's accusative indefinite. Can you use the definite në punën? No, because otherwise you need to describe what type of job it is. Right? That's why indefinite. Në punë, në mëngjes.
Can I in the second half of the sentence? Can I use në ga?
Më pas shkojnë nga puna. Yes, it's very colloquial. You can use it. Më pas shkojnë nga puna. They go by to their work, or yeah, they drop by the workplace. They walk by. Then nga puna. Mirë, how do you translate it? Ata zgjohen herë në mëngjes dhe më pas shkojnë në punë.
Like they wake up early in the morning and then go to work.
Shumë mirë, po. Numri 4.
Ai po udhëton në Brazil.
It's very correct. What's another option? So this means he's traveling in Brazil. What was the other one? To travel throughout Brazil, all over Brazil.
Në për?
No. Në për, shumë mirë. So në or në për both will work. Ajo po udhëton në për Brazil. So she's traveling throughout Brazil. Can you say në për Brazil? Okay, I'll make në për Brazilin. Can you make the rest of the changes? We need to do something now. If I say në për Brazilin.
Like, no, like we need to add an adjective, right?
An adjective, for example, yes. In the Brazilian, I don't know, a mad in the big Brazil, or a book, or in the beautiful Brazil, or anything that modifies it. Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, indefinite. No Brazil. Oh, Nicolas, do you hear me? With the John?
Oh,
sorry, I didn't give any sentences for you. Okay,
I did them anyway.
Okay, Mir. So the next one.
Kur e ke takimin te mjeku?
So how do you translate it?
When do you have the meeting at the doctor?
And te is what case?
The nominative.
Nominative, Shumir, yes. Typically used with people, so professions as well, people. And te is used for places, but for very specific places. Te posta at the post office, te liceni at the lake, po shkoj te puna at work, but typically only with these nouns, not other ones. Yeah. Numri 6.
Libri im është bidivan. Kurse lulja është përsëri mbi ose në?
Libër, po, përsëri mbi libër. Another meaning of në is also on, so you can also say është në libër.
And it doesn't mean inside of the book.
I mean, it could mean that. It could indicate that as well. You know it just from the context, or you just find it out when you see where the flower is. But në could also mean inside, yes. Në libër. How do you translate that one? And what cases are we using here?
My book is on the sofa while the flower is on the book.
Yes, so it's like on it, on the book. Yeah. So both with accusative, both indefinite. Can use the definite if you modify it further. Mbi divanin e ri, on the new couch. So you have to modify it further. Okay, numër 7.
Okay. Po dal nga parku, flasim më vonë.
Yes, 2 translations for this one. Can you guess? 2 translations.
The sentence?
Can you translate it?
Yeah. So I'm going by the park. We speak later.
Shumir. And what could be another translation?
I'm going from the park.
I am dal it's also to go out, so to leave. I'm leaving the park.
Yeah, to leave the park. Po.
It could be both. You just know it from the context.
Yeah.
Yeah. Podal, you can use any here, even more colloquial. Podal një herë nga parku. I'm just going by the park. Just going quickly or shortly by the park. Yeah. Numër 8.
Okay. Përveç Elsionit, kush tjetër flet shqip?
How do you translate it?
Okay, apart from Elson, who else speaks Albanian?
Perfect. Apart is a good translation. Let me see. What did I write there? Përveç, besides. Yes, apart would be better. Yeah. Apart, Elson.
Okay. Yeah, besides. Besides.
Besides, apart, yes. So besides him. What case does it follow? Do you remember?
That is the genitive case.
No?
Sorry, my fault. Ablative?
Ablative case. Genitive would be E or A or T, an article in front.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of.
but the ending actually, yes, it looks like a genitive. Mir,
Yeah.
numri nënt. Whose turn was there?
Ne
Aha.
ne po flasim red duresin about.
Check out the ending. Yeah, about. The ending.
Red.
No, it's not. So red is about, but red fall. Then it would be red dursit. Then it's correct. Red dursit. However, if it was dursin, then per dursin. So the meaning is the same, different cases. Red ablative, per accusative. Okay?
Oh.
We are talking about duras. Mir, shkoj në punë.
Shkoj në punë me autobus.
Correct, shumë mirë. Shkoj në punë me autobus. Do you remember what case that is?
I don't know what kind of it is.
So it is me with accusative, me. Here, me is accusative, okay. Me autobus, me makinë, me tren. Mirë, any questions? Keni pyetje? So here's my email address for the next lessons. I will, as I said, I will be making an announcement somewhere on Instagram or YouTube about the next lesson. These lessons have always been for free. I welcome if you want to donate anything, if you want to subscribe, here's my YouTube channel. And the next lesson, as I said, will be about verbs with prefixes. Thank you very much for joining. I hope to see you in the next one. Faleminderit shumë dhe shihemi në mësimin tjetër.
Thank you very much.
Faleminderit.
Mirupafshim.
Mirupafshim. Faleminderit.
Mirupafshim.
Faleminderit,
Mirupafshim.
Mirupafshim. Ciao, ciao.